One personal story in an email will connect with your audience more than 10 links ever could, because the emails that build real connections will feel like a letter to a friend, not a polished campaign. Welcome to Marketing Your Way podcast, a show for women in marketing and creative fields who are ready to rethink what's next. I'm your host, Anastasia Mann, marketing strategist, agency owner, career mentor, and once upon a time, a corporate VP of marketing. This is your go-to space for career reinvention, whether that means launching your own business, pivoting into freelance, or finding a role that finally feels like a fit. Each week, I bring you honest stories, actionable strategies, and mindset tools to help you move forward with clarity and confidence. We'll also dive into what's actually working in marketing right now, from personal branding and client acquisition to AI tools and emerging trends shaping the future of our industry. And just in case you're wondering, yes, this podcast comes with a Ukrainian accent and a whole lot of straight talk, because it's time to build a career that works for you. Let's dive in. You know that feeling when you pour hours into writing the perfect marketing email, beautiful header, polished copy, and clickable links to your blog, and then you check the stats, and the open rate is low, but the replies? Crickets. That used to be me. I was sending all the right emails as a marketer, strategic, on brand, packed with value, but they felt corporate. Cold even. They weren't starting conversations. They weren't building connection. And to be honest, they weren't as fun to write either. Then one day, I scrapped the polished format and wrote something different. I sent out a short, story-driven email about what I was working on that week, the challenges I was navigating, and one lesson I had learned. I didn't even include a single link. And you know what happened? My inbox lit up. People replied like we were having coffee together. Some said, I really needed to hear this today. Others shared their own stories, and it hit me. This is what email is supposed to feel like in 2025. A conversation, not a broadcast. I've been having so many amazing conversations lately with women in marketing, women who are exploring new paths, thinking about building their own brands or leading marketing inside companies. And I keep hearing the same thing. We want to connect with the person behind the brand. And that's what today's episode is all about. Personal newsletters, why they're so powerful, how the landscape of email marketing is shifting, and why your brand needs one to cut through the noise and actually connect with your audience. So if you ever felt like your emails are just going into the void, or you've been nervous to show up more personally in your business, you're going to love this conversation. I can't tell you how many times I hear people say, email is dead. And I get it. Between social media, text marketing, Slack channels, and all the notifications we are drowning in, email can feel outdated. Like, who even needs email anymore, right? Well, here's the truth. Email is far from dead. It just evolved. I've seen it in my own business and in the businesses of the women I coach. Whenever someone comes to me saying their email list isn't working, 9 times out of 10, it's not email's fault. It's strategy behind it. Because here's the thing. People still check their email multiple times a day. Email is still one of the highest converting channels in digital marketing. And unlike social media, you own your list. Algorithms cannot take it away. But the way we use email has to change. Think about how email used to work. You'd write a newsletter with a generic subject line like this week's blog post, news from us. You'd load it up with links and calls to action, and you'd hit send to the entire list. Maybe it got a few clicks, maybe it didn't, but it felt transactional, like a one-way announcement, not a conversation. In 2025, that just doesn't cut it anymore. People aren't looking for perfectly branded emails. They are looking for personal connection. They want to open their inbox and feel like someone is talking to them, not at them. I saw this shift clearly in my own business. I used to send traditional emails announcing my latest podcast episode or blog post. And sure, the numbers were okay. People clicked, a few subscribed, but nothing about it felt alive. Then I tried a more personal, story-first approach, writing like I was talking to one woman on her dog walk or sipping her oatmeal latte on a Tuesday morning. And the difference was night and day. My open rates went up, people started replying, and most importantly, they started remembering me. The beautiful part is some traditional campaigns still work. They just work best when paired with a human approach. Welcome sequences are still gold because people are excited and paying attention right after they join your list. Seasonal or time-sensitive campaigns still perform when there is a genuine urgency and relevance. The evolution isn't about abandoning the strategies, it's about layering them with connection. Because email isn't about selling first anymore. It's about connecting first and letting the sale be the natural byproduct of trust and relationship. And that shift from transactional to personal brings us to the rise of personal newsletters, which are changing the way brands connect with their audiences. A quick break to let you know, if you are craving real conversations about what's actually working in marketing and what's not, come join us inside the Marketing Your Way community. It's a free space for women in marketing and creative roles who want to grow, connect, and explore what's next in their careers. Inside the group, we share industry news, unpack trends, explore how different roles are using AI to simplify and streamline their work, and we bounce ideas around from campaign strategies to career shifts. Whether you are freelancing, leading a team, or quietly wondering what else might be out there, you'll find women here who get it. Go to marketingyourwaypodcast.com/community or tap the link in the show notes to join us. I can't wait to see you inside. If there is one thing I've learned after years of writing emails, it's this. What people really want is a personal connection. They do not just want to hear from your brand, they want to hear from you. I started noticing this trend in my own inbox first. I was subscribed to all these big, polished marketing emails from brands I admired. And I realized I wasn't reading them anymore. I would skim the headlines, maybe glance at a link, and then move on. But the emails I actually opened and read all the way through, they were the ones that felt like letters from a person, not a company. Think about some of these biggest newsletter success stories today. The Skim. It's essentially a media newsletter, but it feels like a girlfriend texting you the news over coffee. Morning Brew. Business and tagged updates, but written in a conversational, witty tone that makes you want to read until the end. Even though they're not technically personal brands, they feel personal because they talk to you, not at you. And then there are individual creators leading the way. Sahil Bloom's newsletter is one of my favorites. Short stories and reflections that feel like he's talking directly to you. Amy Porterfield's newsletters blend smart marketing tips with personal anecdotes, making you feel like she's right there cheering you on. These are the emails I actually read, forward to friends, even reply to. And your audience wants the same sense of connection from you. So when I shifted to the story-first personal approach in my own emails, everything changed. Instead of blasting out a link to a new blog post or podcast episode, I started writing the story behind it, the why, the messy middle, a quick insight or lesson I was learning that week. And the response were immediate. People replied to me often, even if they didn't click a link. They said things like, "I feel like you wrote this just for me." And my open rates climbed because my subscribers started looking forward to the next email. Here's the thing. Personal newsletters are building trust in a way that traditional marketing cannot. They position you as a real human behind the brand, keep your audience warm and engaged even if you're not selling, and make every promotion or launch feel more natural because your readers already feel connected to you. It's a complete shift in how email works. Instead of thinking, what can I sell this week? You start with, what can I share this week that will connect with someone? And here's a bonus. Personal newsletters can live in multiple places now. You can send them to your email list, repurpose them as LinkedIn newsletters to reach new people, upload them to your website for SEO so they keep working for you long after you hit send. It's one piece of content that can serve you 3 ways, and it doesn't have to be long or fancy, because the heart of a personal newsletter is your voice. We all know email has been around forever, but the way we use it today is completely different and honestly more exciting than ever. I'm seeing a few major trends that are reshaping how smart marketers use email in 2025. And if you start leaning into this, your emails will not just be read, they'll build real relationships. So number 1, LinkedIn newsletters are exploding. If you're not using LinkedIn newsletters yet, I want this to be your little nudge. Here's why. LinkedIn has become a content platform, not just a resume site. Newsletters on LinkedIn get pushed to your followers and new audiences who can subscribe with a click. They have insane organic reach right now because LinkedIn is actively promoting them. The best part? You can repurpose your personal newsletters as a LinkedIn newsletter. Literally copy and paste, maybe tweak the intro, and suddenly you are reaching an entirely new audience of warm leads and potential collaborators. And if you take one extra step and upload that same newsletter to your website, you are now boosting SEO and building a library of content that works for you long after you hit send. 1 newsletter, 3 touch points, maximum impact. Number 2, email as a community and not a campaign. Here's my favorite shift. Email is no longer just a sales tool. It's a space for community. Your subscribers aren't just leads. They're real people who want to feel connected. When your email feels like a conversation, when it tells a story, shares a win, or even invites them into the behind-the-scenes process, it builds loyalty. I've had women reply to my newsletters like we were just old friends, sharing your own stories or just saying, "Thank you, I needed this today." That's how community happens. And when people feel like they are part of your world, sales become a natural step rather than a hard pitch. Number 3, AI as a support, not a substitute. Yes, AI is everywhere right now, and I use it. It can help brainstorm newsletter ideas, organize your thoughts into an outline, even rewrite sections to make them more concise. But here's the truth. AI will never replace your voice. The emails that perform best are the ones where people can feel you in the words. Your quirks, your phrasing, your little human moments, that's the magic. So use AI to save your time, but never to remove the personality that makes your newsletter uniquely yours. These trends all point to the same idea. Email is no longer just a broadcast. It's a bridge. A bridge to your community, a bridge to your next client, and a bridge between your different platforms working together to make sure your voice is heard. Alright, so we talked about why personal newsletters are so powerful, how email is evolving, and some of the big trends shaping marketing in 2025. Now, let's make this practical. If you're listening to this and thinking, okay, I want to start a newsletter, or maybe revive the one I've been neglecting, but where do I even start? Here's my step-by-step framework to get your personal newsletter up and running without overwhelm. So step number 1, define your core intent. Before you write a single word, get clear on why you are writing this newsletter. Is it to connect and share your journey? To educate your audience about your expertise? To lead to a service or offer eventually? Your why will guide your tone, your topics, and even your schedule. My own newsletter started as a way to connect with other women in marketing who were craving freedom and fulfillment. The sales came later naturally because connection builds trust. Step number 2, pick a simple format. You don't need a 10-section newsletter with graphics, quotes, and 12 links. Start with one simple formula you can repeat every week. A personal story or insight, a takeaway or lesson, give them value, a gentle next step, link to your podcast, a blog, or your service if it fits. This is what I call story lesson-led CTA method. It keeps things human, actionable, and not overwhelming to create. Step number 3, start writing to one person. Here's a mindset shift that changed everything for me. Do not write to your entire list. Write to one person. I literally picture a woman on her dog walk, sipping her oatmeal latte, earbuds in, scrolling her inbox. I write like I'm talking just to her. When your email feels like a conversation, people actually read it and reply. Step number 4, choose your platform and schedule. Keep it simple. Platforms like Flowdesk, ConvertKit, or MailerLite are beginners friendly. Start with once a week. Consistency matters more than frequency. If you ever worried what to send first, just introduce yourself. Share a little behind the scenes story, why you are starting the newsletter, and what readers can expect moving forward. Let's talk about email marketing. If you're over clunky platforms and wasting hours designing emails, it's time for a change. Meet Flowdesk, the easiest, most beautiful email marketing tool out there. Stunning templates, simple automation, no limits on subscribers or emails. And the best part? You get 50% off your first year. That's just $19 a month. Grab your deal now at marketingyourwaypodcast.com/Flowdesk. It's marketingyourwaypodcast.com/FLODESK. Step number 5, repurpose smartly. Remember what we talked about in the last section. Your newsletter can be emailed to your list, posted as a LinkedIn newsletter for extra reach, uploaded to your website as a blog post for SEO. One email, 3 touch points, maximum visibility. Step number 6, infuse personality and invite conversation. Your newsletter isn't a lecture, it's a conversation starter. Share a little behind-the-scenes snippets of your week. Use your natural voice. Yes, you can say ooh, yay, or throw in an emoji. Invite replies. Ask a simple question at the end like, have you tried this? What are your biggest struggle right now? The more human it feels, the more your readers will start looking forward to it. Step number 7, just start. Perfection is not the goal here. Your first newsletter doesn't need to be your masterpiece, it just needs to be sent. You'll refine your voice, your rhythm, and your flow over time. I always tell my coaching clients, you're already qualified, your audience is waiting to hear from you, not a perfectly branded version of you. So if you follow the steps, your personal newsletter won't feel like another marketing task. It'll become one of the most enjoyable parts of your business because it's where the connection happens. All right, my friend, let's wrap this up. If you take one thing away from this episode, I hope it's this. Email isn't dead, it just evolved. Your audience doesn't need another perfectly polished marketing email. They want a real connection. They want to hear the voice behind the brand. They want to feel like you're talking to them, not at them. And that's the magic of a personal newsletter. When you share your stories, insights, and lessons like you're writing to one person, people will start opening and engaging. They will remember you. And when the time comes, they will buy from you because you already built the trust. I want to encourage you to start small this week. If you already have a list, send a simple personal newsletter, one story, one takeaway, one gentle CTA. If you don't have a list yet, this is your nudge to finally start one. You do not need thousands of subscribers. Connection starts with one. And remember, you can repurpose that email across LinkedIn, your blog, and your website, so the effort you put in works 3 times harder for you. And if you enjoyed this episode and you're ready to take your newsletter and your marketing to the next level, here are a couple of ways I can support you. Join my Marketing Your Way newsletter where I share weekly stories, insights, and behind-the-scenes tips for women in marketing. You can join at marketingyourwaypodcast.com/newsletter. And if this episode sparks something for you, I'd love to hear about it. screenshot it, share it on Instagram, and tag me at Anastasia_man, or just hit reply to my newsletter if you're on the list. I read every message. Because at the end of the day, building a newsletter isn't just about marketing. It's about building a relationship with the people who are meant to be in your world. You already have what it takes, so go start writing. And that's it for today's episode of the Marketing Your Way podcast. I hope you're walking away with fresh ideas, new insights, and the confidence to take your next step. If this episode spoke to you, please take a moment to leave a review. It helps more women in marketing find the show and build a marketing career on their terms. And hey, don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Until next time, keep building your marketing career your way.